Hello and welcome everyone here. We got semifinals, Galactic division, and I should probably bring in the other person here. And tonight we're going to start off talking about the match a little bit, and then we're going to get going. So I'm going to welcome with the co-caster and host tonight, George P. Purdell, everyone. I butchered it, Purdell. I'm sorry.
Nah, actually, that was right.
That
That
was
was
good.
exactly right.
That's sweet. So we should be doing just fine. Maybe.
I would hope so. A game like this does not deserve to be anything less than fine.
Yeah, so this is the semifinals of the Galactic Division, and we have Toon World versus Please Repop Maokai is going to be the first match going up, and so George is looking at the. You have the link to the pick bands, right?
That I do.
Super. So I have the list of the pick bands here, and you just react kind of natural to what you see coming up at you. Okay.
All right.
So you know both of these teams pretty well, right?
I may have played against one in my time. At least twice, usually more.
There we are. So Toon World for this first match is crap. Hold on, I
Well,
may have the sides wrong. I think I do. Ignore the man in the corner.
well,
Or
I mean, we can just swap the first two if you want.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that's fine. Maybe I don't even know who the next band was. This was much easier when I did it in practice last night, George.
Well,
Live streaming's hard.
either way, I can point out the Twisted Fate ban as a very, very clear target.
Who is it
We-
targeting?
Well, I would assume that it's targeting Dear Froz, right? Because
Yeah.
Froz,
Okay.
for those of you who don't know,
Hold on. We're
Yeah.
gonna redo this
okay,
because I got the
yeah,
team sides wrong, and that's embarrassing.
kinda. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll just start. That's cool.
I was all mixed up because I had the teams wrong on the wrong sides, and I started doing bands the wrong way.
Nah, we can get it.
Super. So we're just gonna close this one. There we go. Please Pop Maokai is the blue team for game one. And Toon World is the red team for game one. So this will make the whole pick band system go much easier now. Twisted Fate is the correct first band, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Against Toon World by Replot
Right.
Maokai. So that's
Definitely
targeting.
not Bida.
Yeah. That's targeting. Who you said again?
That's gonna be targeting Froz, just because. For those of you who don't know, it's not that he's bad outside of like Twisted Fate. It's just so much better than everything else he plays. You kind of have to get rid of it.
Yeah, so talk about the Galactic division a little bit while we kind of bounce through the rest of these pick spans about how a lot of people are not necessarily one-trick ponies, but there's definitely strengths and weaknesses on a lot of the players.
Yeah, getting into these highest tiers here, you have the thing where a lot of people got here by playing one tricks and then branched out once they got there. So they're still really strong on that one champion. They just aren't pigeonholed into it. So it's still worth banning out, say, like, I'm not sure if they'll come up later, but Herdis is Lowy. Because, like, they're just so much better on that than anything else, even though they're already good on those other things.
Well, you may be for a surprise then.
Oh, I'm guessing they don't then.
Final ban is Echo by Toon World. They leave up the Alawi.
Well, and that gets into the other bit, honestly. If you know that the people in these divisions like playing these champions because they're their best champions, if you have a plan for it, you can actually leave them up and bait them into picking it. So in a situation like this, I assume Toon World knows that Hertus really likes picking Alawi and has a plan for it. Now we don't know whether or not that plan is good, but it's something that can happen. And we see the Alawi hover already.
Yep, I do not have the exact pickled order, so we are just going to go straight into the lane matchups. And their counterpick for the Alawi is the Darius. Now, this is something that Urtus has actually done a video on how to play Alawi into Darius, so it's a matchup she's extremely familiar with, but it may be something that Salt, the top laner on the other side, is familiar with as well to try and gain the advantage for his team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing I want to comment on is there's 3 mid lane bans. I mean, essentially, Fizz can go top, Echo can go top, Vlad can also go top, but very targeted towards Ninja. While Hertus is really good in Gundam's, all of Repop Maokai's players are really good. Ninja tends to be a very hard carry. Unlike others who snowball a bit slower, if Ninja gets going, he is going to steamroll your entire team.
And Ninja is going to be playing Ari in this first matchup, correct?
Yep. And when you take him off something like that Fizz, he really likes playing. He has a wide enough champion pool to come back, so I expect he's going to do just fine in this.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm just going to try and speed this up.
Go for it.
I forgot that this is the tool. This is the tool that the pros use in their scrims to simulate the pick band that they do in their that they have in LCS. And so it does have all 5 bands. So just a heads up, all of the A bands are not actual A bands. They're just to power through. Hold on, I want to make sure Alistar wasn't picked. Okay, we're good. To power through the pick bands here, because I don't want, unless you want to talk for 2 minutes about the 6 picks we see on the screen currently.
I mean, I can throw in a few more things. Ivern, everybody knows about Ivern right now. Ivern's just a good champion.
Yeah.
He's kind of finicky to play sometimes, in that, he's really cerebral in terms of pathing, and because he relies on really reacting to what's going on the map. He doesn't have this standard laid out path, so you can make him work mediocre pretty much always, but you have to be really good with him to bring out that extra edge that really pushes him over the top. And on the other side, Gundam's playing Lee Sin. Gundam actually subbed against our team for at least 4 games this season, and I think Lee Sin was one of his most played champions in those games. He's always been a really solid jungler on him, and he's definitely never been a problem. Usually he's been very good. Coming up on that, Froz has the Ziggs. Ziggs is kind of his go-to pick whenever he can't play TF. And if you look at the comp they're playing, a lot of that comp is kind of designed around them protecting the Ziggs and Caitlyn, just allowing them to shove down. Yeah, poke and siege. Toon World has probably the best macro rotation side lane management in the division. And the team comp they drafted here really try to pinhole that and put a stamp on it, because Ziggs has that execute, Caitlyn has a tower siege. On the other side, it looks like Maokai is going for a more, definitely not siege, more skirmishy comp with the Lucian and Zanari. Alawi is good when Hertz is playing in most situations. She can do, she does well in team fights, she does well in skirmishes just because of how familiar she is with the champion. But it's definitely more of a skirmish oriented. So Toon World is really not looking to fight per se. They're just looking to take stuff.
Good. So,
Mm-hmm.
as we saw, I don't know if you caught the matches yesterday. One of the quick things I want to touch in is the new after midseason update we just had. The aspect of team play, as you kind of touched on the side lanes, we saw the Rift Herald used two ways yesterday. Remind the viewers that kind of watched it. In game one, they were able to take the Rift Herald and use it to secure top tower, and then they pushed down with it with the jungler to get it to the tier 2. It charged in, and as soon as it hit, they bailed on it at that tower, and the jungler and top laner rotated the mid, and their bot lane, who had already gotten first brick in the bottom lane, rotated up to mid, and they 5-man mid and got that tower, then took dragon. That was an excellent teamwork in that aspect in game 1. In game 2, they got first tower in top lane, and then they took the Rift Herald, and then they 5-manned bot lane with it. They got the tower down there and a kill. Those were two aspects. Do you think? I mean, these are just two aspects from yesterday, and these were the silver division. Do you think as much emphasis will be placed on something as the Rift Heralds in the top division?
I think it's really interesting. I would say probably yes, if only because we have two of the strongest macro-oriented teams here. Again, Toon World has, I would say, the strongest rotations in macro and lane assignments in Vantage overall. But it's interesting because Toon World has, for the most part, pushing lanes. The Ziggs is going to push after he gets his Lost Chapter. I'm not sure about bottom. I don't play it too much, but I assume Caitlyn Karma should outpush Lucian Lulu. It seems like it would. The thing is, top lane, where Alawi against Darius, I have no clue what's going on top lane, but I'm not sure it's that pushing of a lane for Darius. So it seems to me that the weakest priority for Toon is going to be up by the Rift Herald. Especially just because Hertis is on that champion that she really likes playing.
Okay, that's just the aspect, one of the largest aspects that we were looking at yesterday with the with how they were playing it in the team aspects. Any other things you want to touch on team wise? I know you got to step out for a little bit here, and I'm going to get going before we get into game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say as far as people to watch Ninja, because Ninja, even if he's not carrying, tends to end up where the action is. He likes fighting. And then on Toon World side, watch where Froz is in team fights. Because from what it usually goes, if Froz gets caught in the team fights, they usually lose, just because he's so much of a center point of their damage.
Okay. Thank you, George. And we will be seeing you back when you are able to get back here, right?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay. Thanks, man. We're going to jump straight into the game now here. We're going to do a little bit of a solo cast for the game 1 as schedules didn't exactly line up the way we were looking for, but it's okay. So going off of what George said here as the match gets started, and flip it to advantage. Okay, we should be going now here pretty well. Pretty well. The advantage is Toon World. We're gonna look for the macro and the movements of the teams, as you said, whereas we see some comfort picks on the side of Repop Maokai. Now, as we discussed yesterday, me personally love getting deep vision invade when you start off with an Ivern trying to get a good start off, especially for Kill Lowy. To get a good start for Ivern, he's so dependent, I think, levels 1 through 3, and getting a good clear. We saw Peanut at MSI play Alawi, which pretty much looked like for the first time ever in his clear path was pretty much abysmal. He ganked top lane. It was like a full level behind the top laners, which is pretty hard to do for an Alawi. But we'll see how this gets done here. But just straight out cross map, basic, you know, line of scrimmage for either teams. The early matchups, I mean, all these lanes can be extremely volatile early. Lucian, Lulu versus Caitlyn, Karma down bot lane. Really, probably lots of fighting, lots of action down there. If Ari can get some nice charms in onto Ziggs, that matchup's going to go in favor of Ari. Otherwise, Ziggs may be able to farm it out. And Darius and Alawi both can be lane bullies. And we'll see how that reciprocates up in top lane. We'll also see if maybe some of the new items come out in the with the tanks up top going in. And we're just gonna kind of let this the farm out, the directed camera here, go out individually as we kind of check in on the junglers. Lee Sin's finally picking up red buff, and Ivern's picked up blue. Has started the red there. We're checking a couple tentacles already. And I think going up against Alawi, the key is to try and keep those tentacles, as less of them on the map as possible, to be in favor of the Darius, but doesn't want to push up too far into a possible ganking Lee Sin come the 3.5 minute mark up here. Also, notice how Ari's already placed an early ward here for the possible early Ivern cheese gank that can definitely come in from the Ivern. And it is lagging out. Of course it is. Stupid. Okay, so the stream. I thought I fixed this. I thought I fixed this yesterday. Let me know if that gets any better. We had the same problems yesterday, and I've talked, as we see, Ivern's gone in here for the gank while I'm trying to fix the visual aspects. Flashes in with the hooks, and does get a nice snare back. Lee Sin, hops to the tentacle. Ivern just landing yet another hook, and some more range poke from the bush in the top lane. Ari looks like, oh geez, is that Ignite? Does pick up Ziggs in the mid lane. Is it still really is it really choppy still? We're going back up top. That's better. Super. All of the sorry about missing the first blood action there. The internet provider and me don't get along. Currently I've used like 80% of my bandwidth data that they allow me to use till like Friday. Oh well. Okay, so we got just damage being laid down. Looks like Ari in the mid lane had hit a really nice charm in onto Ziggs and allowed to get the first blood. And Ziggs is not able to pick up that last chapter that George was talking about. As Ziggs takes yet another nice Ari cue to the face. As Ivern's now come for yet a second gank into the mid lane here, and looks like Lee Sin is just going to try and counteract him. As there's a great charm coming out from Ninja Blood. He's going to get the kill onto the Ivern. Lee Sin just looks like his goal so far at the moment has been just to track the Ivern where he's going and show up at the same place at the same time, see if he can have the same impact, which allows his laners to play a more aggressive. As Ari did hit 6 and tried to go all in on the Ziggs, who's now gonna have to back up, and Gundam looking to go in, decided against it. Let's check in on the bot lane real quick. Qs and autos coming out. Pretty decent farm. Caitlyn, it does have the longer range, is going to be able to keep up with the keep the CS pressure on the Lucian, but he's not too far behind. In lane, potions have been used on his side. A little bit more poke damage coming out on the side of the Karma and Lulu. But once we get into out of laning phase, maybe a little bit more mobility coming out from them individually and keeping that the Lucian alive versus Karma a little bit more AoE on the shields and speed up. As it looks like we're going to have Ivern going top for yet a second gank on Alawi and just goes up and starts taking out the tentacles. Doesn't even actually get the snare down. Alawi's popped the ult, did get one additional tentacle onto Darius as they're just trying to continue on, and Hers is still trying to run down the jungle. Darius with the dunk and the spin is going to take her out. Maybe a little bit too far forward, too much slows and snares coming out with the pull from Darius and the shields and snares from Alawi, so they're not on Alawi from the Ivern. Just a little bit too risky. I mean, Ivern does have some weird gank patterns because of his weird farming aspects, which means the timings aren't the exact same with most junglers in the current standings. So trying to push up and get as much CS as possible. Not, you know, this it can go okay. Darius still just actually now picked up the boots. Has burnt both top laners, burnt teleport, but she did save her flash because she wasn't able to escape. So that should be good in case the Ivern does want to make a repeat gank. She will be able to hopefully escape out the next time. The bot lane Lucian here is take enough poke to be down to a quarter health, and just the fear of Caitlyn stepping up with a, you know, empowered auto with the headshot is, you know, making Lulu burn a lot of mana, trying to keep the shields on her, as they just want to sit here. As it looks like Ivern's gone for a gank in the mid lane on Ahri, and that's difficult to do, especially on Ninja. You got 3 dashes to get out of there. Landed the exit charm and Q on the way out. The speed buff there as well allows Ahri to stay really safe. Hasn't even had the burn flash here. Lee Sin's going to be picking up his red buff. Now Ivern has picked up the blue and Ziggs as well after the, you know, the level 5, allowing to pass over the buffs to his laners at this early stage in the match is really good, especially for this Ziggs, who does not have that last chapter yet. Still sitting on the 2 Dorn's rings and the boots. A couple of pots on his refillable there to try and catch up in the CS, as he does hit the, you know, the charmed flashes out from both mid laners, and the junglers are here to try and either secure some kills or at least dissuade the other jungler from going too hard in. Oh, jeez. Ninja lands the dirty charm in the bush. Definitely gets a nice lead going for himself in mid lane now with the 3rd kill in this match, as Lee Sin does show up in top lane with a nice kick into the Wowie ult. Her version of the dunk, definitely going to be extremely powerful. Both top laners burn flash in that instance. I think Lee Sin burnt flash as well, but kill secure for Gundam, so both top laners have been visited by the junglers. Both top laners have picked up at least part of a kill, and as retribution, Hurtus is going to be able to push that lane in and have a CS advantage for a little bit anyway, going for her first item. Lee Sin's going to be handing off the blue buff as the calling comes out from ADC Kai, just to try and land as much damage as possible left onto Revoltrix down here in bot lane. The Alawi, or jeez, I keep saying Alawi instead of Ivern. Give him a chance. Q comes out onto a, you know, a minion, shields. Does get the science. Looks like we're gonna have a teleport coming down here from the Alawi and steps right on a trap. Lands a Q. ADC Kai trying to land as much poke damage as they run away. Not enough length on that tentacle grab, as Kalen's able to back off safely. So a burnt teleport for the Alawi. She's going to have to run it back up to top lane. Lee Sin's going to have to make it up there first, as Darius may get a large chunk damage in onto this tower. Let's see how much damage he's going to be able to get down to it. Oh, it's at full health, so Lee Sin's, you know, going to be able to soak up this XP as Alawi roams back up. Looks like we got some pings down onto Dragon, though, from Toon World, maybe making sure that they didn't go for that, since Yalawi did spend the teleport to go down there. Sometimes if you spend the teleport, you want to make sure that you secure what you do. But Ivern's going to come back around, misses the Q, but flashing out is Lucian, making sure that that Karma Snare didn't land. Lulu gets exhausted. There's a knockup from Daisy. Cupcake Daisy has to ult herself to try and stay alive. Flashes out, not enough, and one more auto, and there's an ult from Caitlyn. That's going to finish off for the kill. Lee Sin gets behind Ziggs, looking for the tower dive. That's not going to happen, as Hurtus Lee is going to just try and fight the Darius, burns the ult, pushes him out of lane. So 3 kills going over to the side of Toon World. They're going to get control of this bottom lane, maybe take it down, whereas in mid lane and top, a lot of damage is going on top, especially, Salt. He's going to have to back. Hurtus is fighting against the Caitlyn, but Caitlyn's going to win that one with the help of Daisy and Karma to get the first brick gold. We see the rotations, a little bit of what George talked about. The burnt teleport by Alawi resulted in nothing and allowed Ivern to come down there, not have to worry about a teleport from the top laner for yet another gank. Or another counter gank, as Lee Sin was busy in the top half of the map and paid for it with his life by trying to go too far under tower against the Ziggs. We're almost at the 13-minute mark, and even though they did get first brick gold, the CS is just slightly better on the side of Repop Maokai here. So the gold is dead even. We're still sitting at extremely close. Other than the towers, looks like the bot lane of Toon World is rotated at the top. We'll see if this pays off. They know that they're up there because they've taken out the pink ward there, and it looks like we may be trading Dragon for Rift Scuttle here. This is one of the actions I wanted to see. I wanted to see how these teams at the higher level played against these two, the new Rift Scuttle versus the Dragon, and it does look like the Dragon has gone over to Repod here, as Hurtus has showed up and just goes right in onto the Caitlyn, and here's Ninja as well, going to show up as just Daisy's going to try and get as much damage as possible, and the teleport comes out from Darius to try and stay on Daisy, and there's the ult from the Ziggs to pick up that kill. Alawi's chase down the Caitlyn is now probably going to have to run away as fast as possible, maybe able to lifesteal up. She is running, it looks like a lot of pots from her right now at the moment, as Karma is going to get the snare. Darius with the flash and with the pull, with the dunk. I think she's going to be able to survive that. That bleed damage is not going to be enough with her pots running. I don't know if they want to push in and activate the item, though. There it is. It looks like Kulawi has activated the Rift Scuttler. This probably means top lane tower is going to go down. But in return, Lucian and Lulu, they're going to take this. Yeah, that tower is going to go down here pretty quick. One more. There we go. We'll swap back up to this top lane. We'll see this Scuttle. Oh, that's Scuttle damage. It is dirty. Lee Sin is here, though. Maybe can he... His smite is up. I think he should probably focus. There it goes. Goes down. Saves taking out the tower. Great job by Gundam. Ninja Blood comes up to help secure the kill with the kick in from Lee Sin. So good teamwork on taking not only down the Rift Herald, but also the champions trying to defend it as well. No, I really like the aspect of what Toon World tried to do there. Once they did get that first tower down in bot lane, rotate up, take the Rift Scuttle, use your long-range AD carry to, secure that top tower, and just have Darius trying to collect some CS and some farm in bot lane. But when, the Alawi and Ari showed up and we were able to, delay that and pick off a kill, especially on the Caitlyn, and Darius had to teleport in onto Daisy to, help secure that. They lost all their pressure in bot lane in that map rotation of trading the outer towers in the side lanes. So it just didn't allow them. And then, you know, Lee Sin was able to go back top and smite down the Rift Herald and take it out before it was able to take out the tower, because they only had, you know, Darius, who was at low health, attacking the tower with the Rift Herald. When the Rift Herald is being the one being targeted, and the more damage the Rift Herald receives, the less damage it deals, because it deals damage based on its health. And now with all 5 people here, Ziggs is in the bot lane. There's a lot of the wave power, wave control, because Caitlyn does not have enough damage here. As a nice hook to get some more damage out. His redemptions have been burnt here by the Ivern, just to try and get some healing and damage done, but they were not able to protect the tower. Ninja going back in. Do they want to continue? Lee Sin's going to go in and cakes out the Karma. Here's the calling from Lucian, as this is going to be a second dead champion. Down goes Ziggs, and this mid-game fight is absolutely wrecking Toon World. Darius stayed top, was able to get the tower. Is he able to escape the Alawi? Maybe able to, but I'm not sure. And Alawi's going to make sure that he stays right here. But with Darius running away from the Alawi, this means that the rest of her team is going to be able to 4-man this tier 2 in mid. And just looks like a slight overstep by the supportive characters on the side of Toon World. Meant that Lee Sin and Ahri were able to dash in there, pick up the kills on the squishies. There is no tank, especially not this early, on their side of their 4-man squad, with Darius trying to split push and, you know, get a return tower kill in top lane. Allows, you know, the extremely mobile and aggressive Lee Sin, Ahri, Lucian able to dash in with the Lulu help to secure those kills and get yet another tower.
Yeah, that's actually something that's really kind of important to note. Yeah, I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back, George.
The team comp that Toon here picked is a really good team comp, but it's only really good when ahead and at parity with the other team. If they get behind, they have a really hard time catching back up, and their only option is to really just farm it out.
So I'm at 1830, yep. 2, 3, 4.
Yep, I'm there now.
Super. So did you? I know you were gone. You missed it. You were talked earlier about the rotation and how they made a really good rotation after getting the first brick down in bot lane, and rotated their bot lane up to top, and they traded Rift Herald for the Dragon, but the Ahri and Alawi contested it and were able to pick up the Caitlyn and deal a lot of damage, so they weren't able to actually push in top lane with the Rift Herald. Lee Sin was able to come up and smite it and kill it before it was able to take up that top tier 1.
Yep. I saw that when catching back up, and I liked what they tried to do, but you were right. By doing that, they kind of left off the pressure in the bottom lane. It might have been a good idea to just hold off on using the Rift for a minute or two longer. I think they only used it when there was 1 or so minute on the timer. You can hold it for up to 4. So
yeah, it seemed like a really good attempt. Maybe even executed pretty well. I just think that the Ninja and Alawi, Hurtis's aggression while they were taking it proved to be their downfall, right? Yeah. Like, it was pretty obvious that that's what they were doing, and they showed their hand maybe a little bit too much, and because of that, then they were down, 1 tower. They didn't have Darius there to protect the mid lane. The aggressiveness and mobility of Repot's team allows them to get in there and pretty much engage the fight, even if they don't have a tank, because they're not going up against the tank.
Yeah.
These are two juggernauts, I guess, coming out of the top lane. They're not. We don't have any vanguards or wardens up there.
Yeah, and you say that they're coming out of the top lane, but honestly speaking, they're not really doing much leaving. So,
yeah, the only left was a early teleport by Alawi to try and prevent as a counter gank measure, and it was somewhat successful. No one on her team died. As Ari's going to go in here with the charm and take out the Ziggs. As we see the redemptions coming out, Karma is going to get the snare down onto Ari. She was too far forward, but down goes the tower, and here comes the Lulu ult. And Daisy lasted, you know, like 2 seconds before she was taken out, and an easy disengage from, you know, Repot here.
Yeah. And that's another thing I wanna point out is that the Toons team, the way they engage fights is that they force the enemy team to contest whatever they're trying to do. Right now, they're not in a position to try to do anything. When your only engage is an Ivern route or a Karma snare that takes 1.5 seconds, you can't force fights when you want.
We're definitely looking at the control coming out from the side of Repot. Well, we're hitting just about the 22-minute mark here as we kind of just touch base and look kind of at the gold separation. It's pretty much you know, 1,000 to 2,000 gold across the board, other than the supports right now for Repot. They have the advantage. So we're looking at, like, you know, between finishing that completed second or third item to, you know, have their second item completed and on their way to their third, versus the other team who's still trying to complete their second items. Is there a point, though, where if they don't keep pushing, you know, keep up the pressure, that they start falling behind, or is it going to be pretty much even consistently throughout?
Well, it's one of those things. The double support comp, the Ivern and Karma, is really good when you're even with the other team or ahead. So if Toon here can make the game last long enough that the lead Maokai has right now doesn't matter, then they're in business. The thing is, they have to keep Maokai from doing things like the Baron. Because as much wave clear as Ziggs and Kate have, they're not going to be able to wave clear safely Baron mains without a tank.
And that's part of the problem of their comp that they picked into, right? They don't have a pure tank coming out of the top lane. They have a Juggernaut who,
yeah,
he has gone for one offensive item into tanky build, but it's not like, you know, we don't have a you know, a Nautilus or Galio or anything like that that's really strong. And as you say, that they started the Baron.
Now there is a Warden there, so Toon does know what's happening.
And it looks like that teleport does come down from the Darius, and she's going to come in, and the re-engage is so fast coming out from the side of Repot with the Ari dashes and the Lee Sin, and it looks like Curtis is teleported in from the backside and is able to jump in onto the jungler, as Caitlyn has not been targeted in this match, as she's picked up a triple kill here, and it's now going to be the Juggernaut versus the AD carry, and Frost comes back in to throw out another protection, not going to be able to finish anything off. Lee Sin's going to be able to escape here with just a tiny bit of his life, and that is a, what, 3 for 4 in that team fight in fire of Repot there.
That is, but honestly, Toon is going to have to take this, because it was a 3 for 4, but Maokai isn't doing Baron. So it's not a good case, but they avoided the worst case scenario.
So I mean, you talked. So do they just have to keep trying to make these types of trades? The other team is really squishy, and you do have a little bit of pick potential with the Ivern. Mm-hmm. Do you just ward up your jungle and pray you get lucky?
Well, we can see that Maokai is pushing in top lane, bottom lane pretty repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're starving out for farm. You definitely have to keep Maokai from getting any more dragons, because they already have 2. The next one up is Infernal, I think. If I have that right.
The image, nope, it's another air drake. It always shows the Infernal Drake on replays.
Well, they should fix that.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So if it's another wind, it's less bad, but still, you don't want to give a triple Infernal plus Oder when it comes up.
Yeah, that's a ton of movement speed coming out. As we see, Lee Sin's going to go in right in onto the Karma, and with the help of Ari, just burst out the support. Lucian's Culling's going to come out, trying to get as much damage in onto Lee Sin. Goes in yet again. Alawi's wrapped in from the side with a nice hook onto Caitlyn. Has finished her off. That's the the 3 picks that they got, as you said. Repots, they want to fight at the objectives and not in the lanes.
And that is exactly what you don't want to happen this tune. They try to contest the objective, but they didn't have any wards on the objective, and even more importantly, they have no vision control in their blue side jungle. If you compare that to the Baron side, they have a pretty safe approach, but towards their blue, they have no clue what's happening. And Maokai can see every last one of them as they come in.
And jeez, so much damage coming out from the pretty offensive build that Hertis has going on that side. Now she was able to sustain some early ganks, and with the help of getting those extra towers down, was able to push forward ahead of the Darius, and is now pretty much the juggernaut that you want to have on your team right now.
That's one of the things I really like about Hertis in particular. You can gank her a lot, but she would always find a way to be useful. You never really shut her down completely.
Just like she just killed Ivern in the jungle with 3 other champions auto-attacking her, and she didn't even have to use her ult for that instance. And that just allowed her team to, come back from base after buying items in that next dragon. As we see some redemptions going off. Lee Sin here maybe going to get off a kick because Lulu ult has burnt to get her out, and there's the Ziggs bombs. And they're in their favor because it looks like Repot is fighting without their AD carry. Hertis, though, is just tanking as much damage as possible. No one got onto the actual DPS damage of Caitlyn and Ziggs. They were able to just fire away, but they may be paying for it with Lucian. This minion wave is so slow. Ziggs is able to waddle his way over here. But nope, he just goes right in. He tries to kill Frostbite. Frost is the flash over the inhibitor. Now Lucian's stuck. Has to burn the heal so he doesn't die to the Caitlyn ult. Now Ahri and Lulu, they will be pushing in top wave.
Now, one of the things that I think should happen, one other person on Toon should probably pick up a blue trinket, just because right now they have no real way to guarantee they get vision on the objective safely when they're being contested. So, like, you saw what happened in the Dragon earlier.
Yep.
Just one of the best ways to avoid that is just to just have a second blue trinket that I just see being picked up right now. So.
And Ziggs has placed his ward and then swapped it out for that blue trinket. So we do see some pinks coming out on the sides of both teams to try and keep good, consistent vision. There is no dragon for the next 3 to 4 minutes. Is it really just time for Repot to just set up better vision control and push in on the Baron, or are they more aggressive? And will they just, as soon as they get a chance, just do it?
Right, it's one of those things, you're not going to say no to a free Baron, but it's honestly better for them if they can get Toon to come and fight them while they're trying to do it.
Alawi's teleport is up, and we may see a 5-on-5 here, as it looks like there's the teleport from Alawi as Darius took a charm to the face and then a full culling, and now Ahri's going to try and go in, misses yet another charm, but this one looks like Ivern is summoned Daisy. Ziggs bomb does land on all 5 members, but Hertis is able to take out the Juggernaut on the other side. Lucian dashing forward, finishes off the Caitlyn. There's a double kill for the Alawi. And Ziggs trying to throw as much damage out as possible. Flashing from Ivern as he misses the Q. Alawi's just going to walk over all the little bonds there. Lands ult. There's her ult finally being used as it does land on the Karma. Looks like she's going to be able to run away with some shields. And 2 for 1 on the side of Repot.
Now, this is up to a 10,000 gold lead. So this is the critical point here. Maokai is right now about as ahead as they'll ever get in terms of percentages, because as you get into the 40-minute mark, the gold advantage you have starts to mean less.
Yeah, you've seen the AD carries are both at 3 items. The mid laners, Ziggs has fallen behind, still looking to try and get his 3rd item. Ivern is really behind, especially for a supportive jungle. His build doesn't even cost that much, and he still only has the 2 completed. I mean, Lee Sin has his 2 completed items. He has his jungle item completed. Ivern Lee Sin's is so. A lot of gold going in the favor, as you just touched on. And it's spread out pretty evenly. There's not like one super fed member on their team.
Mm-hmm. And if you're Maokai here, I'd say the one difference I would say to do for them, their pinks in the Baron Pit have been a little bit off, and Toon has usually had a ward in there to see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If 1 or 2 more pinks would be put in the area to make sure there isn't any vision. Like, Ludo just changed the position right now and is able to actually see the wards. Earlier that wasn't the case. Just clear out the vision a little bit better, and I think you have a really solid thing going forward.
Now Alawi doesn't have teleport for this. She's pushing in the bot wave. I know she gets 3 full levels up on Darius. Never mind. I was about to say, do you think this is worth it? But maybe you just keep their only tanky member up here as we swap back down to the Dragon Baron here. And there's the Ziggs ult. Is not going to steal it as Lee Sin was able to secure it. And Ivern's just, he goes in over the wall. He's not going to be able to do anything from behind. He's not really that type of champion. Ari's going to pick up the double kill. Alawi picked up the kill in that 3-level advantage in top lane. Well, I guess the top laner's in bot lane. Ziggs is able to run for his life because his little legs go very fast. But that they can siege the bot lane and mid lane. I'm pretty sure they can end it here if they want.
They almost did here, yes.
They should be able to. They're all 5 members up. They have 13 seconds until Caitlyn, so a pretty I don't want to say a risky play is, well, as you said, Ninja goes ham. Flashed Charm ignited Ziggs at the last second. BMs with the Golden Ari on the fountain.
It's definitely one of those rough things where in the bottom lane, your Darius is 3 levels down, so there's no way he can fight against Certus.
Yeah.
And just, if you don't get the Baron steal there, you almost certainly lose both your bottom and middle inhibs. If you don't get the Baron steal and then fight, and then lose that fight, you lose the whole game.
Now, I understand they will go for the Baron steal, but once... Is it just because Ari and Lucian just engaged while they left Lee Sin to secure the Baron? Because it looked like, Maokai's team, they split, right? They didn't even do all Baron, and they split right away.
Right. And with as much engage as Maokai, they really didn't have the option to not fight after trying the Baron steal.
Because they don't have any disengage.
Yeah. So I'm not going to criticize them too much, but probably the best decision there was to send maybe 2 champions at most for the Baron steal and have everybody else pull back. Just because, again, if you lose that, you lose the entire thing, as we saw happen.
Mm-hmm. So, I know you sped run through game 1 here, and what would you say looking to game 2? What we'll start with Maokai. What are you looking to continue into take from this game into game 2 to continue winning?
Everybody on Maokai is really good at fighting. So, and honestly, that's one of their biggest strengths. They are a really good, both mechanical and just skirmish team. If they can force fights that Toon doesn't want, then they will win every time. And Toon really has to get together a way to prevent that from happening. Currently, their team comp doesn't do that if they get behind at all.
So a little bit of a risky draft. Is there anything you want to? I mean, you could pinpoint specifically, like in the either pick ban phase or maybe the early game, that they can do to put themselves in a better position to not be 10k gold behind at 30 minutes?
Well, I'm not exactly privy to their tick ban strats, but honestly speaking, I still say to ban her just Slawi, just because you saw how many they put into her, and she was still such a huge factor in controlling where Darius was on the map.
Okay.
And if they're leaving up Darius as a counterpick to Alawi, then that allows Darius to be on a different champion that might be more suited to counter engage.
We definitely look to see that in game two. We're gonna get set up for that here in a minute, and we'll just play a little bit of music as I get that set up, and then we'll do the pick bands. Super.
Yep. All right.
Bum, 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 bum.
Did I scare you?
Nope.
I'm here to show the way and teach you how to kill. This may sound, well, a bit cliche, but can you?
Hooray for silence. There it goes.
It's close to mid-game, and something evil's in the fog of war. You try to push lanes, but he just seems to be roaming more and more. You try to run, but terrified sends you into a panic. You might be done as Fiddle drains your life before your eyes. You realize that this is Fiddle. Fiddle stinks. You're fighting for your life, but he just drains you every time. You know it's Fiddle. Fiddle stinks, and no one the silence you were getting. This is the end. There's nowhere left around for you to hide. You're terrified, 'cause this is bitter, bitter steep. He'll hop over the wall and then his ult will kill you all. Yeah. Bitter steep. And now you're gonna die inside his pride reaches all when they hear of my ult and try to evade. There's no retaliating onto fiddle this time. So just bait it into fight. Ow! He's out to get you. He's closing in on where you try to hide. He will show you unless you change the items that you buy. But it's too late. The game is creeping on its final moments.
Okay, and we're back here. We're going to get into the pick bands here for Game 2. We should be all set. So, blue team check, red team check. Blue team's first band. So, Toon World has banned Fizz first in both games. Is there something particular about that? Is that, I know it can be flexed? Is it, or, but I don't. That doesn't seem like a champion that Hurtus plays a lot.
Well, if you look at it, it's not actually a ban for Hurt.
For Ninja?
You saw how impacting Ninja was on the Ari last game.
Yeah, he likes to
He has a reputation for doing a little bit more than that on assassin champions like Fizz.
Gotcha. He's all in all the time.
Oh yeah, he is. That is his entire playstyle. He also has played the Vladimir a decent amount when he's gotten removed from the assassin selects playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that's a ban for him rather than that hurt us. Caitlyn ban coming out.
Yeah, the Caitlyn and Lulu ban. So is the final bans for Maokai here. They banned out the lane that the bot lane they did. So I guess ADCKI and Styx and Cross. They just didn't want to go up against it again.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty.
And yeah, if you look at what happened, that makes sense because that was Maokai's weakest link in that game. The advantage Toon got at the beginning was in large part from the pushing power of that lane.
Yes, the definite early part that they got the first brick gold, and they were able to make that attempt of play with the getting the Rift Herald and pushing in top lane with it. It just didn't quite work out just as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in Toon World banning Ivern themselves, is there is Gundam really that big of an Ivern player?
He's a good enough jungler. He can play it. I'm not sure if he's a huge fan. I don't know, because in our games, we always either picked it or banned it. I know he can play it. I'm just not sure if he likes doing it. And if I'm Toon World, and I know he can play it, and I know we don't, under the assumption we don't want to first pick it, I would just ban it just to prevent that from happening if there isn't a more important ban. They leave the Alawi up again, which is kind of questionable, but if they have faith, let's see how it goes.
Now,
yeah.
They took I don't have the exact order, but I'm pretty sure it looks like they took the Lee Sin away from Gundam, and in the first game, Orianna was banned, so Frost gets on the Orianna in this matchup. Definitely power picks for their side, but when Orianna's picked, you would expect maybe another Orianna Ari matchup, but it's actually going to be Echo for the side of Ninja.
Yeah, and Echo was actually Toon World's last ban on the previous round. So that's basically giving him a comfort pick, if he's okay with it, into Orianna, which it seems he is. One of the things with Orianna in Vantage is that if you look at pro tournaments, she has a very good and safe laning phase that is really hard to abuse. The thing is, even at this high level, a lot of people don't know how to abuse her laning phase the right way. And if you don't know how to abuse Orianna's laning phase the right way, then you're kind of giving the opponent a free lane because she just sits there and farms. A number of matches I myself was fine picking like Aurelion Sol or something into Orianna just because the enemy didn't really know how to crush me in lane. And that's true up to a mid-diamond level, usually. Orianna is a really complicated champion to play to her highest power.
As we finish out the pick bands here, Ashe and Zyra for the bot lane of Two World versus the Sivir Karma for the repot here. It's, when you ban out the Caitlyn Lulu, it looks like the Ashe Zyra is the next, the next choice for Toon Worlds as their bot lane. You're looking at a lot of CC, but a lot of damage coming out from their lane as well, versus, the Sivir, who's not exactly the most top tier AD carry at the moment.
You're right, Sivir isn't the top tier AD carry, but I want you to look at the jungler they picked with Sivir and Karma.
It's Olaf. Everyone wants to run forwards.
Mm-hmm.
More fighting.
Specifically, Olaf gets to ignore every single one of Toon World's crowd controls. And if you look, all of Toon World's champions have something pretty significant. Nautilus has his entire kit, Lee Sin has the kit, Orianna has a shockwave, Ashe and Zyra, they're the most crowd-controlled heavy bot lane there is right now in the meta.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe Lulu. Hard to say, but...
So, if they really want to run in, Zyra's ult should be a decent peel option. Orianna ult should be an okay peel option, but Olaf is known to getting to Ashes and just, chopping her down with his axes.
It's one of those things where you can peel everybody else on Maokai's team with ease. Very easily. The issue is, if you can't peel Olaf, and you can't kill Olaf before he kills one of your two carries, you are going to lose that fight.
So right as we jump in here, are you looking for anything specific, either early or mid game, for Toon World to get to establish a good rotation, like you said, going into game one, or are you looking for? They opted for pretty much a 5-man. Kind of almost late. Ashe can be a little bit more of a late game AD carry. Orianna with her shockwaves. Nautilus is going to be the tankiest person in the match. Lee Sin has his kick. But that's a 5-man squad. That's not a lot of split pushing going on there. Whereas Repot, they're the team now they're double down on the mobility yet again.
Looking at their game last game, I like this composition a lot better with that in mind, because this comp definitely has ways to stop Maokai from jumping all over the place. The only question is whether Maokai is going to get that one person they can't stop Olaf fed enough to make it not matter.
Yep. So we will be jumping in here. And I always forget to swap it back to the screen here. So as we jump into game 2, quick little rundown is we will have Toon Squad on the blue side with Salt playing Nautilus up top, Killawi playing Lee Sin in the jungle, Frostbite on Orianna in mid lane, Revoltrix on AD carry, Ashe, and Monster Energy 77 on Zyra. For Please Repot Maokai, we have Hertis playing her Alawi once again in top lane, Gundam, I don't know, Grimjerd. I'm butchering names. Luigi's Gundam, playing Olaf in the jungle. Ninja Blood on Echo in mid lane. ADC Kai playing Sivir, and Styx and Cross on Karma down in bot. So I have mine at 2 seconds because that's what it was at. So I'm going to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have started.
Yes, we have.
Now, in the first game, they did line of scrimmage for both teams coming out, but in this one, it looks like we got lots of pings going on around the Baron Pit from both sides. Do you expect an or either one of these teams notorious for invades, or are they more line of scrimmage teams?
Typically, they tend to be a bit more cautious, especially when neither junglers is on Ivern, because Ivern's one of those champions you have to get early vision on just to know where it is. And that's what we have here. Ivern is in the game, so if you are Toon, it would be really important to get that vision. The thing is, they're already a game down, so I don't think they want to risk it.
Well, they did. They ran straight into the Tribush. Lee Sin landed the Q, followed it up, and they did nothing with it, which allowed, you know, Karma and Sivir to run in and get a ward on red buff, you know, allowed to keep their own. So it looks like we're going to be having a kind of a basic start now for these junglers. Although, do you want to quickly explain why a lot of the teams, hold on, let's do, why fix the, a lot of them have been doing the Wraith start for their jungler.
So, it's something I'm not too familiar with since I haven't jungled myself, but we were doing it. As far as the specific reasons go, number one, it gives you the experience a little bit faster than going from Krugs to Red, which is your other option if you're starting on the bot side for blue camp. The other thing with Wraiths is that your mid laner can help. And if you really want a good leash, your bottom lane can help out with a red buff on their way to the bot lane. So it allows for a little bit better start to the junglers. But if you look on the Toon, they have the Ivern. He doesn't need it because he's Ivern. So that allows for that to be kind of negated. Important that Gundam got that help, because that way he makes sure to get to the blue in time to make sure Ivern doesn't try any shenanigans.
Okay, so I'm at 132, and I'm starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Okay, so they know where Lee Sin's starting up and is going to start off this map on the side, but they don't know where Olaf is starting necessarily. They see Hurtus is going to come to the lane late, but other than that, they don't know if he started Wraiths or the blue, or started on the actual red buff. I know the no, the Wraiths, I believe I don't know if they changed it, but you can get the experience if you take all of the little Wraiths. You can get level 2 to help you take the big one.
Right.
And that's why, and plus you have such good AoE clear with your, you know, your Q from Olaf. It's so easy. As we see Ninja going extremely hard into Frost in the mid lane here, taking him all the way down, making for like 10%, making him use the potion. There's that aggression that you talked about from Ninja.
Yeah, the thing is, it is risky because if the mid laner on the other team, if they steal one Raptor, then you don't get that level 2.
Okay, so it looks like one more proc will get the speed boost to get out of there. Is the Echo. As we kind of just sort of touch base, this Sivir is really pushing into this Ashe Zyra lane, but the trading is going really pretty much in favor is Flash. Ooh, shields and heals coming out on both sides. But Monster took Flash and ignited by 6 across, is able to get the first blood with the final auto. The over-aggression in bot lane from both sides, and finally we have a death. Whereas Kill Lowy is back up in top lane trying to kill Lowy.
Well, if you're going to bring in a sub with that name, you would better try to make sure they fulfill that name.
So with the Lee Sin showing top already, that allows Olaf to go and get some Krugs. And with that first kill, Sivir is now able to collect a large farm down here and be in charge. Okay, my IP right now. So look off. There's the ghost actually. Olaf stuck around a little too long. Got a lot of poke damage, especially because his bot lane left. It looks like Lee Sin's going to be going in for a gank as Orianna stepped up into the Olaf here. They're going to try and get this finished off. Flashes the Lee Sin Q is the Echo to get an escape, but he may want to try again. There he goes. He's going to follow this one up and dashes back. Throws out the Q, but Echo's already burnt his teleport to get back to lane. He's not going to be able to, back and pod up. Interesting start that he went double Doran's ring. Do you think he maybe should have gone for that, the corrupting pots and, Dark Seal?
Well, I'd have to go back and see which one of them back first, but Frostbite is a really huge fan of a double Doran start, and it's one of those things where pros have really good mana management, so they could probably get away with it, but in the intermediate levels here, if you don't have on-point mana management, and something like Froz goes the double Dorans, you're almost forced to do the same thing.
Yeah. Just
to match. Because you can't afford Lost Chapter that early, so if you can't match the shove, then you just get out-farmed.
Apparently, my stream is super laggy. I don't know why.
That's not good. Well, at any rate, I will be back in a few minutes since somebody can schedule things.
Yes. So we should be back in it. I don't know why it keeps doing this for you guys. It did it to me yesterday too. Looking at my stats as we watch it continuously run here down in the bot lane. The Sivir has picked up two long swords here to counteract the Vamp Scepter coming out for Ashe, who's going to be going that Blade of the Rune King build that is becoming extremely popular. But Sivir is going to be going for more of a traditional, either, I don't know, lethality build. I'm not exactly sure what her best goal is. As we see the Echo Gank is going to come in. It does not land the stun, but does land a bunch of poke damage. That's going to come out, and Snare actually comes down onto Sivir. She's going to have to flash out of there to help prevent her freaking damage. This is really starting to bug me. And Lee Sin's going to pick up that kill, finish up, and pick up the second kill there. Echo landing the stun onto Orianna, trying to chase it down. Olaf coming up from behind. Hopefully he's going to land one axe. Are they going to follow it up? Lee Sin is here. Gets the kick right off onto Olaf. Lands into the Echo. And Echo's going to have to pop his ult for the heal. Olaf's going to throw an axe, fade away to try and escape. We're going to pause this. is still really choppy. I don't get it. I know it's my ISP, probably. Codecs to fall fast, buffer 1000 mode, VR, quality 8. Parameters, fine. I think there's some background programs. Nothing there. Getting freaking 20. Okay. We'll check it out here for another 10 to 15 seconds and see how it goes. Playing with the tools here.
Just wait.
This is ridiculous. I'm already down to 1,000. Okay. Bitrate is 1,000. Preset is very fast. Quality 5. And nope. Max keyframe intervals. 2 seconds. CPUs. CPUs. It's 20 freaking percent. Okay, we'll try this one more time for a couple seconds. I don't have anything else running in the background either. It's really starting to bug me. Lee Sin's going for a return gank here. Ashero comes out. Sivir eats it with the spell shields. Good job for the gank prevention. Lee Sin's come back in. They really want to get some pressure down here since the Lee Sin couldn't get any pressure going up in the top lane. This is change that. I love on-help tools. They're great. Except for when they don't work. 2. Coder. Set it fast. Took it off of very fast and put it down the fast.